So hello everyone, my name is Niak, right? A company called Comisgo. We build systems, perform sense making, and we analyze situations, right? So the idea behind this today is our dream really to build a virtual control tower to advance the world. So pods are actually critical to countries, right? They are part of the living trade and part of the global supply chain. Because parts are part of global supply chains, and when there are inefficiencies in these supply chains, it actually consumes entire economies. On the left-hand side over here, you'll see a pod in Tanzania. Right? On the right-hand side, you see a pod in Bangladesh. So what we're trying to do over here today is to figure out how do we actually improve efficiencies in ports, moving to cities thereafter. Now, there are three kinds of efficiencies that we see in ports today. Right? Number one, you've got lack of visibility, right, in port activity. Number two, you've got congestion, right? Who loves queues? And number three, you've got siloed information. So the idea is really just this. If I cannot see, right, how do I plan? If I cannot plan, how do I execute? Right? And what actually happens from there is we can end up with a big bottleneck. Now, in terms of what you want to build, we want to build something called an all-seeing eye, right? Now, this eye consists of two components, assets on the left-hand side, which we want to sensorize. So in this case, we're actually putting in sensors into assets. From here, information from these sensors will then be passed back up into the virtual world that we want to build. Now, the virtual world is actually an abstraction of what's really happening outside, what we call a cyber-physical system. And what we have within Comisgo is actually a patented middleware that does two things, integration of these sensors and intelligence. So from here, what we can see is this. We can predict the situation, assess it, and then tell the assets later on what to do next. What we want to do is to take a look at the whole system holistically, right, as one big body, one living organism. Now, in terms of the three problems, we've got cannot see, cannot plan, and cannot execute. Right? Now, if you cannot see something, the solution is really quite simple, right? Provide full asset visibility, right? Mount sensors all over the place, provide connectivity. Now, once you've got connectivity, we can move towards resource optimization, resource utilization. In cannot plan, what we want to do from here is to predictively manage, right, queues and capacity. If you can plan ahead of time, you can reduce congestion. Number three, for cannot execute, what we're trying to say over here is to look at system interoperability. The goal really is to make sure that systems today do not work in silos, but talk to one another. All right. Now, here's really the big plan, right? You've got ports all over the world, 5,000 ports in this case. 1,700 of them are currently in Asia. So our technology that we have over here will enhance ports, number one, right? And number two, it's also transferable over into smart cities. So we take the idea from ports, which is congested and harsh, bring it to smart cities and try to make sure that the city in this case is completely efficient. Now, the savings in this case is quite large, right? We know right here that if we save 10% out of $400 billion, right, the revenue models for this kind of systems will actually take off quite quickly. Now, in terms of how we work, right, as a business model, we offer really just two things. Number one, integration, and number two, intelligence. And what we're trying to do over here today is we've already started work with a port, one logistics company, and one distribution center right here in Asia. Our business model consists of two components. Number one, analytics as a service. In this case, we hook up all your sensors together, come into our systems, and then we feed it back to you in terms of the intelligence. If you do not have the sensors, you can move towards a package that says we'll install the sensors for you and feed the information back up into our virtual world. Right. So in terms of the team, there are really just two of us here right now. So myself, Niak, hi. Right. We've been involved in this area of evolution of industries for some time now, right? Over 10 years. Right. And my CTO sitting down there, almost a demigod, the one in black, with the hands up, please. All right, Melvin. Right. He builds actually bleeding edge systems. Right. So we come together in terms of industry knowledge and myself, and then we move towards redefined industries. So why invest in this? Right. We've already built 3 products. If you feel safe in Singapore today on the roads, it's because of our lighting systems right here. This system plows the roads, every lane, every night to ensure that the roads are quite safe. Number two, we also take a look at Road Eye for road service monitoring and also as Sentosa. Now, here's the plan for us. We're raising 1 mil, right, 15 to 18 month runway to increase business development and employ a dream team to implement our projects. The investor that we're looking for should do 3 things. Build up contacts with the corporate giant, speed up the innovation cycle, and lastly, help out with a scale-out rollout. Now, in terms of our timelines, really just 2 phases. Phase 1 to deploy into a port and a company. Phase 2 and 3, tackle distribution centers, move towards urban planning, and then later on into smart cities.